Hey mathletes, here's a tutorial on GeoGebra and maybe using it for your logo project. So as we want to be able to define our transformations, it's going to be nice to have our axes and grid lines on. Remember, a big part of this unit goal is to understand this as it's applied to our coordinate plane. So as I'm moving through here, you can either design your logo using GeoGebra just from scratch and start by making lines and segments and rays, or you can embed a photo that you have already made and created with another program. So that's kind of the model I'm going to go off of. And just for the sake of discussion, I'm going to use a common one that a lot of us have seen before. And let's look at our Walmart logo. Okay, so as I embed this, okay, notice I went down to media. Again, to get those tools, sometimes you have to hit more, and I embedded that image. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to move that image, and what I'm really going to focus on is this logo here, that kind of golden star. So I'm going to line that up so it's at the origin there, so I can see that this logo is a series of rotations and potentially reflections. So I want to show how I can use GeoGebra to demonstrate those and have that as part of my design copy. Okay, so now that I have my logo in here, I'm going to want to probably add some points to this so I can start defining them. Okay, so over here I'm just going to take some points and I'm going to define points that are on the sides. Zoom in here. Okay, I'll move again. Okay, and then from there, okay, I have an arc there, so I can use this tool down here that is a semicircle. Okay, so I can kind of give a semicircle, and it's going to go to the left, so it's going to go D to C, and I want the bottom one. If I want C to D, if you think of it as a vector, it goes to the left of the vector, and I want it the other way. So anyway, if you get it the wrong way, you can just hit undo and go the other way. Okay. Now from there, I'm going to have 2 more points for the top kind of parts, kind of oblong here. Okay. And I can, again, do the same strategy and make that top part. So to the left, there. So it might not be exact, but at least for my design copy, it will enable me to define my transformations. Okay, so then I'm going to border those out. Okay, and so some things you might want to note is that maybe you want to change the colors for these things. So if you go ahead and select maybe this objects, you can select multiple objects. So I can maybe move the picture out of the way, and then I can worry about my sketch here. So that object, okay, I want to go ahead and make my lines. Let's see if I can get some more and make it more like my Walmart logo. Okay, maybe I don't like the ease and the points. So if I go up here and I can go to settings, well, I don't want to do this with all of the things, so I can go back to my selection tool. So at these points, if I don't like these points, I can go ahead and select them. And if I hit Control, I can select multiple ones. Okay, and I can go to my settings and take those off. Okay, and now I have kind of something I can work with to show how I can do my rotations and reflections. Okay, so now if I want to take this, and let's say my first idea is to reflect this across the x-axis so I get the bottom one. Okay, so again, I can take my selection tool, I can come over here, select all those, and I'm going to say I want it to before I reflect it, I need my line to reflect it over, right? So I need to define my line. So it's the x-axis, so if I put points here and here. Okay, now that I have that line, I can go ahead and select my objects. Okay, and I want to do a transformation, reflection, about this line. and I get my image. Okay, and again I can kind of check with my thing. Yep, it's matching that pretty close. So there's one of my transformations I defined. Okay, now I'm going to also see these as rotational. So remember, as rotation, as I want to find that rotation of symmetry, I think about 360 degrees around. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spokes. 360 divided by 6 is 30 degrees. Okay, I'm also going to need that center of rotation to go about. Okay, so my center of rotation, for me, that's why I centered it about the origin, is there, because I know I can define those rotations about my origin. So again, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. You can select objects here, or you can also just come down here and do angle, rotate around a point. And if you want to select multiple things, you can drag a box still, and I'm going to rotate this. And I'm going to rotate about this point I, and now I can dictate. So remember, it's 360 divided by 60, so I want to do 60 degrees. Okay, and I can go clockwise or counterclockwise. I'm going to need to do this for twice, so I can just start with the counterclockwise one. Okay, and notice I get that object. Again, I can select this, and I can rotate about this, and let's do counterclockwise. Okay, and maybe for the other ones I want to do a reflection, and I can take these and reflect it about this line. I get that one. Take these and reflect about this line. I get that one. Okay. Again, if I don't want my points, I can pick my selection tool, hold down Control, select all the things I don't want visible. You can do it one at a time, but I like to try and do multiple ones. Okay, and for the sake of time, I'm just going to show you again. Settings, show object. I don't want to see those points, so I get a more accurate depiction. Okay, the last thing I want to show you guys is a translation. Okay, so again, a translation. Let's pull back our tool and get our design back there. Okay, so what is being translated on Walmart? Okay, so if we look at this copy here, okay, I can see that the A is a translation of A. So I could define that A, and maybe just define a segment here, RS, okay, and I want to translate RS, and I'm going to need a given vector. Okay, so that vector is going to be from here. Ooh, undo. Okay, so first I need to get my vector, define my vector. Okay, and so that A is going to go from here to there. Okay, so like I got off, I just want a straight horizontal there. And again, the segment is going to be here. So now I can translate that vector, or translate this segment UT by vector RS. And see, it's a little short, but I can come over here and change my vector tool so that it matches up there. So there I've defined my vector. Okay, if I want to know how far that vector is, okay, I can go over here and look at my vector RS and see how it's defined. Okay, this concludes our videos on the tutorial on GeoGebra.